Hello everyone and welcome to Talk a Good Game. It's just finished. Udinese 1, West Ham United 3 as their second game of their mini pre-season World Cup break ahead of the Arsenal game on Boxing Day is another win for West Ham. 2 wins from 2. I'm here to discuss the highlights, quite a few of them, to get through a few individual player performances as well. A couple of good things, one or two not so good things. Let's start, from the very start. The first 20 minutes of that game, I thought we were poor. West Ham were poor. I forgot my disclaimer. Disclaimer, I'm aware it's only a friendly. Now we can move on. I thought we were really poor, despite it only being a friendly. I thought some of the issues that we've had so far this season continued to be evident in this game early doors. I thought the centre-backs looked poor. Dawson and Bona. Had it been a competitive fixture, a couple of yellow cards would have been shown to West Ham players as well. And we're just a bit fortunate that perhaps Udinese weren't better at finishing or a bit more clinical in the final third. But they did open the scoring after 13 minutes, and it was almost deserved after 13 minutes, to be fair to them. Poor play by us. Downs lost the ball out on the right-hand side, and it was just a bit too easy for them. They came down there. Beto got played in. He should have done a bit better. Emerson sort of half tackled him, half didn't tackle him. It fell to Pereira. Really nice finish. And it was one of them. I'll be honest, at that point, I was sitting there thinking, this isn't good. I'm wanting positivity. I want to see examples of stuff to take forward into the Arsenal game. Stuff that's going to give me a little bit of encouragement that our preparation is going well for the game in 2 weeks' time. And at 1-0 down, you're sitting thinking, this ain't good. Aguero's injured. Ogbonna looks poor. Dawson looks poor. Zuma's had surgery. Kerr wasn't in great form, went away to the World Cup with Germany. But the last 20 minutes of that first half, I have to be honest with you, I quite enjoyed it. I thought we played some nice stuff. Now, I have a bit of an issue when it comes to friendlies, and this is the problem with friendlies. It's only glorified training sessions, so you can only really take things, good and bad, with a pinch of salt. But I enjoyed the remaining 20 minutes. We got our equaliser just before the break. But we were knocking the ball about quite nicely. We're playing on the deck, lots of passing going on between the centre midfielders, the fullbacks, getting it forward quite well. Really good corners as well. Great save by their keeper from a Craig Dawson header. And we were looking quite nice. I thought Fornals was busy. I thought Benrahma continues to look sharp. Bowen continues to look busy. I thought Scamacca was putting himself about well. So Fowles getting forward well. I enjoyed that 20 minutes in the first half. And Benrahma did make it 1-1. A quick free kick. Scamacca won the free kick, took it very quickly, gave it straight out to Soufal on the right, who sort of flicked it to Bowen. Deep cross into the box, and nobody touched it. It just fell in front of the keeper. And it's one of them, the keeper don't touch it, it might bounce in, so he sort of has to save it almost. It's a cross. He sort of pushes it to a side, and it's straight into Benrahma's feet, who just knocks into the back of the net, and 1-1 at the break. Moving on into the second half. Now, West Ham switched up the formation. In the first half, for those that haven't seen it, we played like a 4-2-3-1. What we've usually seen, if down started centre midfield with Thomas Souček, and you can work out from the starting 11 who else played where. It was everybody was in their natural positions. Benrahma left, Bowen right, Fornals on the 10. In the second half, we switched to what to me it appeared like a 4-4-2, but Fornals came quite central a lot as well. Bowen was cutting in, but it was quite pleasing actually. Antonio came on for Benrahma. Lanzini replaced Flynn Downs in the middle of the park, and he partnered Souček in there. But Benrahma came off, Antonio came on. Now this happened against Cambridge. Antonio and Scamacca took to the field, but Antonio played left wing. Not today. Today, he went up front with Scamacca. We played two strikers for the second half. Now, that is really pleasing to see. I was pleased to see that. And I thought, here we go. Here's something a little bit different. Now, did it work? It didn't not work, if that makes sense. I'm not excited. I was like, wow, what a partnership between Scamacca and Antonio, because A, it was only 45 minutes. B, it's only a friendly. There was glimpses between them, I guess. So it's hard to sort of take anything from it. But it was just, I guess, nice to see us try it, to try something a little bit differently. But while I wasn't blown away by that partnership of Antonio and Scamacca, but like I said, I don't think it was crap or anything. It just wasn't anything overly exciting. I thought Fornals and Bowen played really well in the second half to allow them to be the strikers. I thought, defensively, they were coming back, going forward, they were tucking in. And I thought I was quite impressed, actually, by the shape of our team in the second half and just, like I said, trying something a little bit different. We did make it 2-1. What a goal! What a goal this was. Manuel Lanzini, we know he's got in him, but I have to say, I thought the build-up was really, really good. Really good. We were passing it about, we were moving, there was little 1-2s. Every outfield player was getting involved. And I know these Udinese players touched the ball in the process, by the way, but it felt like maybe 30 passes in the build-up with a couple of interceptions. And when I say Udinese players touched it, they cleared it and went straight back to a West Ham player, or they blocked across, whatever. But they didn't gain control of the ball. They weren't in possession. Maybe 30 passes or something. I don't know. I'm not going to count them, but it felt like we were just pass. All the players were moving around. Emerson got it. Went on a really nice run, just cutting from the left, went down the middle of the pitch, passed a couple of players, gave out to the right-hand side. Bowen cuts in, has a shot, blocked. Scamacca tries a back heel, blocked. Goes back out to Bowen, crosses it, gets headed out to Lanzini, who, he's on the stretch, take it down, flicks it to the side, and you're thinking, hit it, and he does, 20, 25 yards out, and just flew. I hate saying this, right? I said it about Benrahma against Cambridge, but I'm going to say it again today. I think a Premier League keeper saves it, but I don't really care because it was a fantastic goal. One of them howitzers, I think they describe him as. It just flew in. Keeper got his fingertips to it because the trajectory of the ball moved, but it was just a fantastic smashing strike by Lanzini, and it was pleasing to see because I think the one thing that annoyed me with Cambridge was I thought there was some players, they've got something to prove here. They don't have a place in the starting 11. I wanted to see a reaction from some players. I never really got it on Tuesday, but it was a testimonial. It's only friendly. But like I said, there's only 3. You can't not try. You've got to show something. And I felt like 1 or 2 did on Tuesday, but I didn't really feel Lanzini was one of them. I thought Lanzini was poor on Tuesday, but tonight I felt he was neat and tidy in possession. Fantastic goal as well. And we made it 3-1 at the death with Michail Antonio. And I'll be honest with you, I was ranting about Antonio about 5 minutes before that because Scamacca gets like a loose ball and Antonio is in the middle of the pitch unmarked and he just keeps edging forward and he goes off. I mean, the defender sees him and just stops and thinks, well, I'm not going to stop moving. And he's offside, which is one of them you think, well, just why have you done that? Just drop back a yard. There's still nobody around you, and Scamacca can play in. The pass from Scamacca's fine. It's just he stood offside. It just frustrated me because I thought you need to yield results for Moyes to continue this experiment of Antonio and Scamacca up front, and that was an opportunity to go get it. He did get it in the 91st minute or some whatever it was. Jared Bowen, good work down the right-hand side, cut in, had a shot, hit the post, come back out to Bowen, and he put it across the face of goal for Antonio to knock into an empty net. 3-1 West Ham. But I have to say, I enjoyed the second half. I enjoyed it. Much more serious than Cambridge. Cambridge on Tuesday had that fun testimonial vibes in the second half. Today, it was played at a friendly tempo. I mean, there was a little bit of, I wouldn't say aggro, but, at the end, there was a little handbags at the end there and a couple of times where a tackle would go in, mainly involving Scamacca, and it was a bit like, whoa, you shouldn't be doing that in a friendly. Whoa, hang on a minute. So we took it a bit more serious than we did on Tuesday, which was pleasing. It's still a glorified training session, but I do feel we upped the tempo just a little bit compared to what we saw against Cambridge United, and we have to do that. We've only got one more friendly now, but the way I feel it was a bit more serious wasn't necessarily tempo, tackles, or anything like that, but in Moyes' team selection. I feel Moyes started with his first choice 11 from the players available. I think that is what he thinks is his strongest team. And he didn't use the youngsters. He did not play the youngsters today. Now, obviously, as a West Ham fan, at half-time did the watch from Charlie. So just make all 10 subs in the second half. Give the youngsters 10 minutes at the end. You've taken them over to Italy. Let them have a run out. But actually, when I was watching it and thinking about it, I can understand why Moyes was giving the senior players as much minutes as possible. He has to get them ready for the game against Arsenal. There's only one more friendly after today. I get why he's given some of the players got 90 minutes out there today. Some of them got a lot. Benrahma and Down's only got a half. That's fine. They don't need to play 90 minutes. They both look sharp. They look sharp today. They looked sharp on Tuesday. They're fine. They don't have anything. Downs does, but he made an error in the first half. But Benrahma's got nothing to prove to David Moyes. His spot in the starting 11 against Arsenal should already be guaranteed. It should already be locked down. So let's get Scamacca scoring. Let's get Bowen back in form. Let's use these friendlies for that. And today I've really felt that contrast to Tuesday night, and that was pleasing. Right, some players and other things that I noticed to quickly discuss. Corners, like I said, really good. Much better deliveries on them. And this is where I have a problem with friendlies. Now, while I enjoyed today and we played well, do I then have confidence we're going to play like that in Premier League? No. And it's not just that the opposition's harder, the tempo's a lot different. It's just doing it, just doing that passing that we saw today. Because the best way to sum it up is one of our corners. And it was in provision. I don't even think it was a plan. I don't think it was even a corner tactic or anything. Fornals had a corner. Benrahma went short. The Udinese player followed him over. So Fornals stopped, didn't pass it. Benrahma turned and started running towards the 18-yarder. And Fornals just played it into him. Just passed it. 20-yard pass. And you go. So Benrahma's arriving into the box from a sideways angle with the ball rolling across his body. I thought, there we go. There's a little bit of creativity, a bit of flair. Where's that? And you won't convince me that we were playing that in the Premier League, that setting, and that exact thing happened in the Premier League. I'm not convinced Fornals does that. I think he'd say, oh, sorry, Saeed, you're being marked. I'm just going to whip it in. And it probably gets cleared by the first man. So that's why sometimes the friendlies, you have to take it with a pinch of salt. But the corners, much, much better today. Bowen's deliveries on one side, Fornals' deliveries on the other. Really, really good. And like I said, Dawson, unlucky not to score that header. Scamacca, busy again. Still not, 10%. Sorry, 10%. Still not 10 out of 10, 100%, but gets about. He was somebody that was taking this relatively serious, I felt. I thought he was given a little bit of hustle and bustle with the centre-backs. Has it got something to do with the fact he's playing in Italy? Maybe. Is it because he's up against Italian defence? I don't know. But I thought he was busy today. Fornals was busy. I thought Soufal was good. I thought Soufal was really, really good in the first half. I mean, Soufal's positioning is always... I always think Soufal's biggest strength, or one of his biggest strengths, is his positioning, especially in possession. He's always hugging that touchline, getting forward. And I thought today he was really, really good. It was pleasing to see because that is a spot that's up for grabs. Who's going to be right back against Arsenal? We don't know, or we shouldn't know. Johnson, Soufal, Kerr, it'll be one of them three. But nobody has claimed that spot as their own yet this season. They've all had inconsistent seasons so far. So Soufal's got a place to earn, if you like. And I thought when he came on against Cambridge in second half, I thought he was quite enthusiastic today. I thought he was good again. He's continued that. Got forward well, neat and tidy in possession, linked up really well with Jared Bowen down that hand side. Really, really happy with what I've seen from Soufal today. On the other side, Emerson, I felt in the first half he got in Benrahma's way a couple of times. There was one point Benrahma had. He was one-on-one with the defender, and there was maybe 10 yards behind the defender. So you could almost sense Benrahma was going to try and skin him because he was doing that thing where I call it tiptoeing. I don't know what the word is. I know what the word is for the defender. The defender's jockeying, but what's the word for the attackers? He encroaches on a defender jockeying. I don't actually know what the term is. But anyway, he's tiptoeing towards the defender, and you sense that he's just waiting for the defender to make a move, or he's going to cut in or go down the line. And Emerson just went belting. But the problem is, Emerson didn't just go running on the overlap and go round him. He went on the underlap. Emerson went behind the defender, and it just... Obviously, he's getting chased as well. So all of a sudden, that massive bit of space for Benrahma to work with was just gone because Emerson's now occupying it. And Benrahma almost... You got a sense of panic. He was almost like, well, hang on a minute. Now I can't go there because you're there, so I've got to go that way. But not only do I know I've got to go that way, now my defender, my opponent knows I've got to go that way as well. And it just frustrated me a little bit. I wasn't blown away by Emerson today. Don't think he was the worst player on the pitch. Thought he had an okay game. The two players that concerned me today for West Ham was both our centre-backs, Ogbonna and Dawson. Better second halves. Didn't really do anything wrong in the second half. But the first half, I'll be honest with you, I thought they were both ropey, both of them. If that was a competitive game, Dawson's in the book after 10 minutes. He got skinned easily, had to haul the player down. Again, in the first half, he got skinned again. Souček had to bail him out. Their goal, he's just nowhere to be seen, Dawson. He's disappeared. Ogbonna gave the ball away just outside our box and had to haul him down. Advantage got played and it came to nothing. But again, Premier League, yellow card. I mean, they would argue, I'm not saying it should have been, they would have been arguing for a red card. Saying, hang on, he's through and goal now. There's no attempt to play the ball. What's going on? That's a red card. Both of them. And they did it against Cambridge. Against Cambridge, not Dawson, Ogbonna, slack pass across the middle of the pitch and it got intercepted. Them two are worrying me. At the minute, they are our centre-backs for the Arsenal game. We don't know the extent of Aguerd. Zuma's had surgery. Kerr, we don't know. Well, we do know. He's fine. He's been away with Germany. Hopefully he's available for the Fulham friendly. He should be. But is he going to go in there? Is Moyes going to play him right back? So there's a potential that that's our centre-back pairing for the Arsenal game. And no, I'm not having that. That worries me. That worries me a lot. A great deal. And I know people will say, but it's only friendly. You shouldn't be making mistakes like that in a friendly. I had this for Roberto. I remember saying this about Roberto during pre-season, and I thought he was crap during pre-season. So I said, it's pre-season, you can't judge him. I said, hang on, I am definitely judging a goalkeeper's ability to catch the ball, pre-season or not. It doesn't really matter. If he can't catch the ball in a friendly, he ain't going to suddenly catch it in the Premier League. And I would like to think I was proven correct on that. We saw it. He punched it into the back of the net against Burnley. Dawson and Ogbonna are worrying me. For what I've seen this season and what I've seen so far in the two friendlies, they're a little bit. I'm getting a bit nervous. I'm not going to go in too much detail about Jarrod Bowen because I'm going to do a video tomorrow about Jarrod Bowen. But I thought he was really, really good. But yeah, a lot of positives. Moyes will be happy. I said on Tuesday night, Moyes will be happy with that game. Barclays will have to go off injured. Moyes would have been happy with what he saw. Tonight, Moyes will be happy with what he saw. Antonio on the score sheet, Benrahma on the score sheet, Lanzini hitting a banger, Jarrod Bowen getting 1.5 assists, if you want to call it that. We moved the ball about really well. The senior players got minutes to what I've seen. No injuries for West Ham. There's a lot of positives. In fact, there's not much to come away from thinking that's not good. I think Moyes will be delighted with what he saw today from West Ham. And it's probably ideal preparation, not necessarily for Arsenal, but today is probably ideal preparation for that Fulham game next weekend, where hopefully we'll see a little bit more. Kerr should be involved. Paqueta could be involved. Depends how quick he gets back from the World Cup. We'll wait and see what happens with Declan Rice tonight. So we might have some of the players back next week. We might not. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I think Moyes will be buzzing with that. But Lanzini, what an absolute screamer that is. Benrahma looked really, really good. Benrahma looked good again, which is positive. Our informed player coming into the World Cup, and he's going to be our informed player coming out of the World Cup as well. So that's really good. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. And as a player, if you've enjoyed this review, please do drop a like on it. Subscribe if you found this chat. I'll catch you tomorrow.